Alright, so we're going to lay out, or we're going to design a ring oscillator. So let's go open our library, which I'll use the key bindings, the open library, and then do a file save as. Okay. So now let's generate a new cell and make it a schematic and call it ring oscillator 21, a 21-stage ring oscillator schematic. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and use the icon here, or the symbol without the VDD and ground connection, so I know when I do NCC I'm going to get that error, but that's fine. I know it's there. I need 21 of these, so what I'll do is I'll do a Control C and a Control V, and let's fit. Again, instead of using the menu, left and then right, expand, and then do a Control C and then a Control V. And we'll move those down a little. Zoom. Left click to select the port, and right click to drag over. So there's 4, and so why don't we, and we'll just do one more copy here. Actually, we'll do a copy and then a paste. And then another paste. Control V is what I'm hitting. And then another paste. So let's see, I've got 16. Let's expand one more time. Control. Actually, let's not. Let's go ahead and pull this down. Zoom in on this area. Drag over. Control copy. Control paste. Control paste. Paste. And let's see, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4, 20. In order to make it oscillate, we need to have 21, so I'll go ahead and throw one up here. Now we're ready to connect everything up. So I'll drop this down. And pull this over. Oops, let's move that down a little bit. And then here. Make it look nice. Probably not that necessary for this tutorial, but still good. Good habits, nice layout, good to have. Alright, so let's hit fit. And now I'm going to connect this right here and up there. We'll connect this one, and let's connect it around here. And then this one will come down here. Now let's there, and pull it over there. Left select, and then up, then back across. Alright, so let's do a quick LVS, or DRC rather, and we found one error. Let's do a shift greater than. It says unnecessary pin, so we'll hit delete. Save this. Now I'm going to export a node. Before I do that, let's go put an off-page connector, and let's just export it right here. And right click, drag over, select that port, Control E. Let's call it oscillator out. And do the DRC one more time, press F5. Alright, so I've got a 21 stage ring oscillator. Let me make sure that everything looks okay. So we come around here, goes back around, and so forth. And we have an odd number of stages. Let's make an icon for this window. Make icon view. Pull it over here so it's easier to look at. Control D to descend down into it, or we could double click on the icon right here, but let's just press Control D, or down in hierarchy. And I like to see my outputs on the right and my inputs on the left, so I'm going to go ahead and flip this around and move this over, fit, and move this over. Yeah, good enough. Let's just DRC that real quick just to see. And then do a Control U, or up in the hierarchy to go back to where we were. And now we're ready to do a simulation with this before we do the layout. So let's make another cell. Let's save this and go to New Cell, Schematic, Ring, Oscillator, Sim. We can simulate this cell itself, but it's better just to make a separate cell for simulations. And then I'm going to drag the icon over in here and fit, and then I've got to label the node here. Why don't I call this node, or this arc, keep calling it node because that's Spice Talk. Let's just call it the same thing, oscillator out. And then we can move this over. So we can hit Control D and descend down into the ring oscillator, hit back and go back. Whoops, I'm in Control U and go back. Got too many layout programs on my mind. Save that. Now we need to add spice code. So we'll go here, miscellaneous spice code. And so do a Control I, multi-line. Let's see, we need VDD, and it's good to copy this. DC 5 volts, V ground. From ground to 0, DC 0 volts. Dot include, and I put the spice models in C:electric C5 underscore models.txt. And then let's do a dot transient simulation with 100 picosecond step size and a 30 nanosecond sim time. Now I will likely have to do an initial condition, but yeah, let's go ahead and add initial conditions in there. Dot IC V of oscillator out equal to 0 just to see if it starts, and I'm going to comment that just to see if it sims correctly. So now I say OK, and I don't like the size of that text, so I'm going to change it a little bit to 1/2 units. And so now save, and I'm ready to generate a net list to simulate with this. So I'll go down, Tool, Spice, Write Spice Deck, Save. See if I've got that directory. There it is. Whoops, let's just hit oscillator out. Hey, it worked without the initial condition. Whoops. Can tile those. So we get our oscillation, and you can see it's got my inverters in there, and we'll save this net list. Let's go in and rename it just to make sure that it's not confused when we do the layout. Schematic. And plot V oscillator out. And we see it runs, and no problem. Now one interesting thing we can do that's